Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another exciting episode of Trigger Warning Radio. I am your host, the Kaiju Conservative. So, Twitter has gone ahead and taken it upon themselves to censor yet another one of President Trump's tweets. You can see where I'm at where the tweet should be. There's a message from Twitter Safety saying, "We've placed a public interest notice on this tweet for violating our policy against abusive behavior, specifically the presence of a threat of harm against an identifiable group." And then you got that little window that pops up that says this tweet has violated the Twitter rules about abusive behavior. However, Twitter has determined that it may be in the public's interest for the tweet to remain accessible. We can click on Learn More if we'd like, but let's go ahead and click View to see what could be so horrible, so odious, that Twitter Safety has to censor it behind a violent, abusive behavior wall. Let's take a look at that. Oh, okay. So this is the abusive tweet. It's from President Trump saying that there will never be an autonomous zone in Washington, D.C. as long as I'm your president. If they try, they will be met with serious force. Now, this, of course, is in reference to massive protests that happened in Washington, D.C. Monday night, including an attempt to set up a Black House autonomous zone near the White House, similar to the Chaz/Chop zone that you had going up in Seattle that has since been broken up by the cops over there. The Black House Autonomous Zone suffered a similar fate as police moved in to disperse the protesters with rubber bullets and chemical irritants. These same protesters also attempted to tear down a statue of Andrew Jackson near the White House as well, and they were met with the aforementioned police with the aforementioned rubber bullets and chemical irritants, so tear gas, pepper spray, and the like. Not a good time was had by anybody, except maybe the cops who got a little bit of fun in, a little bit of target practice in, kicking some old school hippie ass. So now, the Twitter Safety is an absolute joke. It really is. This isn't the first time they've censored one of President Trump's tweets like this behind this same wall, saying, well, it encourages violence, but we're going to go ahead and leave it up because, if we take it down, Trump's going to leave, and if that happens, I mean, he's like 90% of our users, and we can't survive if that happens. So Twitter, of course, claims to be a neutral arbiter. They claim that they enforce their policies without any sort of bias or anything like that. But you flip over to celebrities like Tom Arnold, who, by the way, I literally haven't seen Tom Arnold in anything since Mallrats, I think, was the last thing I saw him in. Mallrats or The Stupids. I don't remember which movie came first. I think it might have been Mallrats. But Tom Arnold has not had much of a career the last 20 years or so. The only time I ever hear Tom Arnold's name mentioned is when he's promoting a Trump conspiracy theory, or when he's calling for outright violence, like he did in this tweet a couple of weeks ago, where he said, "Second Amendment is for everyone, including black men with long guns, but it's fucking time for us white liberal men to stand up for our brothers and sisters, borrow our dad's hunting rifles, and go nose to nose with Trump's gang of misfit tools. Let's do it." And he tagged Rob Reiner in this, because when you're going to lead a boogaloo, the person that you want at your side is fat ass Rob Reiner. And, of course, there's the hashtag Black Lives Matter, which apparently absolves Tom Arnold of any sort of wrongdoing and protects his tweets from any kind of censorship, because, as you can see, Tom Arnold he's not hidden behind this same Twitter Safety message. Twitter Safety hasn't said that they've placed a public interest notice on Tom Arnold's tweet. They did for President Trump, and they continue to do it for President Trump's tweets, but not Tom Arnold. President Trump here, I mean, it's obvious what President Trump was talking about. He's talking about anybody who tries to start shit at the White House is going to be met with the appropriate force to break that shit up, which is exactly what happened. That's not a threat of violence. That's a promise. That's a promise and telling you what's going to happen. He's letting the public know that he is not going to tolerate the nonsense that's been going on in other places in Washington, D.C. Now, Tom Arnold, of course, is literally calling for people to steal guns and use them against Trump supporters. So number one, he's calling for people. He's calling for two different types of crimes. He's calling for theft and he's calling for murder. Point blank, right there. He's doing it against an identifiable group, which is Trump supporters, or as he colorfully puts it, Trump's gang of misfit tools. Again, no censorship of Tom Arnold. Nothing bad on Tom Arnold's tweet. He's allowed to. And you click over to Tom Arnold's account, he's still active. He's still going. He hasn't even been he hasn't even been slapped on the wrist or anything like that. He's still able to tweet out whatever he wants. But President Trump, he gets censored because Orange Man bad. Now there's rumors that the FCC is going to start looking into the protections that Twitter and Facebook and other social media platforms have, that they're being directed to do so at the behest of President Trump. And really, this sort of thing, it digs the grave deeper, is what it does. Twitter is digging their own grave, and they're continuing to dig, whether they just don't care whether or not they're going to be taken out, whether they're going to lose their 230 protections, which keep them from being sued by anyone and everybody, or whether they think that Trump's bluffing. I think it's going to be hilarious when Trump actually does that, and Twitter gets to feel the full force of the law that they've been able to ignore the last couple of years. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and leave this video right here for now. Let me know what you think about all this in the comment section below. As always, if you liked what you heard, leave a like and subscribe to my channel. Both those things help me out quite a bit, and I will see you all next time.